All right, so we decided to go to Nutanix and leave VMware. I'll probably do some video on Nutanix at some point, but for now we're just doing the move appliance to show you how to move stuff. It's pretty easy. All you gotta do is assign your ESX environment and your AOS environment, and it's pretty simple. Assign it to vCenter here, and your cluster address or your Prism element, both the same. Just add the environments here. Select the environment type that you're migrating from and to, and the appliance has updates sometimes. We ran into an issue where we were migrating Linux that the kernel was too new and it couldn't migrate it. It failed, so we had to upgrade the software to go out and pull the latest one. The latest Linux kernel had the virt.io drivers already in it or something like that, and they had to make it so it would work with that and not try and push out the virt.io drivers. And I think it's the same thing with Ubuntu 24, and it should be fixed in the latest version here. But anyway, for now we're going to migrate a test box here. So we're going to do Linux test 2. You can call it whatever you want. Let's select the source, which is vCenter. Select the target, which is Nutanix. Target container, which is whatever you have created under your Nutanix. And go next. And then you'll get a list of VMs in your vCenter data center here. And a limitation of 10 per line unless you drop it down to 50, which is still somewhat of a limitation. You can sort by OS, which is somewhat helpful for this. And then you're going to you can pick multiple. You will need to have the same root password across the board if you're using root. I'm going to do this one here, and that's just to remove it, which I don't want to remove. I'm going to add it. I got multiple ones here, but I'm just doing one for now. See next, select the target network. So you have some networks defined already in Nutanix. And then this is optional. We're not going to do that. So next. And then preparation mode, you can do manual, but I'm just going to do automatic. I don't have a reason to do manual. And then here I'm going to use DHCP, which we use, and I'm going to uninstall the VMware tools and install the Nutanix tools. Here you provide your credentials. And then you click next. And this is where it says retain MAC address. And you can change your priority, time zone, which we don't need to do any of these in this case. And we're going to click next. And this is going to reach out and try and authenticate at this point. Hopefully I typed the password incorrectly. All right, looks good. It authenticated this time. So we're going to save and start. And this here, it's at this point, it's just validating. And you can see how big it is. You can see how long the other jobs have taken me. I've done all the Windows boxes that we have in this environment. And moving on to Linux now that they fixed their bug. You can't go in and edit the jobs or remove the VMs and put in new VMs. You just have to make a new job. You can delete the old jobs. This appliance is basically something that's temporary. It's only here till you've done the migration, and then you can just remove it. So at this point, we see that it's in progress. We can click on this, and I'll run through some stuff here. It's not going to cut over anything yet. You're going to tell it when to cut over. It's just going to prep everything. It's going to install everything. It's going to make a copy of everything and put it in a Nutanix environment. And I think every like 10 minutes, it makes a snapshot in VMware. If you're planning on leaving it for a while before you do cutover, it might be wise to turn off the alerts because you get too many snapshots in Veeam if you're using Veeam. And if you don't want to wait in the screen, you can always get out by clicking the X here, and it'll take you back to the main screen. You can just get rid of your old jobs if you want, just by clicking on them and just hitting delete. But I'm not going to do that right now because I could keep a record of what I'm doing. And here you see it's actually copying the data over, but we didn't cut over yet. We're not going to cut over until after it's done. It won't let us. So it's telling me 42 minutes remaining, and I am going to put this on pause so you don't have to sit through the whole thing, and I'll come back when it's ready. In case I wasn't clear, the VM is still up and running in the vCenter environment while this is happening. So nothing is down at this point, and it'll only go down briefly during the cutover, which we will manually control when it's done copying this. All right, so if you hover over now, it says ready to cut over. So go ahead and click on the in progress here, and it says estimated cutover about a minute. So during that time, it will drop off. It will be cutting over to Nutanix, and it'll probably reboot a couple times, which it has to do. So sometimes this cutover lasts a little longer than what it says though, but it shouldn't be that long. So you just click on the VM, and you can have multiple VMs in this job, and then you can highlight one and then only cut one over if the other ones are still copying, or you can just highlight them all and hit cut over at once, however you want to do it. The reason it took me a while to copy the data over is because I have the switch that these are vCenters on as a 1 gig bottleneck, so it took a little longer. Anyway, cut over, and then it gives you a little information here. Say continue. Cutover has been triggered. And this will take the final data sync that wasn't caught in one of the snapshots that it already copied over. And this can be big depending upon what your server's doing, so it might take some time. While this is happening, you could always get out of here. Oh, it doesn't get finished. Nope. All right. Still going. Configuring target. So it's working in Nutanix now. We'll close this out. I'll show you one more thing while I'm in here, while this is finishing up, and I'll come back to it. I'm going to do run through the same thing here, and I am going to pick this server, and then I have a little mark here. This just tells me it has multiple network adapters, and as long as you have both networks configured the same, you can migrate a server with multiple network adapters. So I'm going to click next on this one, and yes, it's multiple jobs running at the same time. That's fine. So VM network, and then a secondary network, and go. We'll do the same thing here, DHCP, leave these as default, take the defaults, and here we go. ready to go. Save and start. All right, great. So that's going. It looks like the Linux one is completed. And then you can click on here. It'll take you to your cluster so you can see it. But it is up and running now in Nutanix. And we're good to go. Hope this helps. Thanks for watching.